Oh.
No, there we go. They're in.
Welcome, everyone.
I hope this works. Check 1 2. Check.
Okay, how do I sound? Is this distance good? So last time I was a little far
It's
away
very
from the
last
mic.
minute, but we did it.
Is this good sound?
It appears to be the case. It appears to be working. So
Excellent.
Yeah, this is impromptu, but we made it.
Well, thanks for coming to 4 people.
2 4 people. Yeah.
2 4 people. Happy Thursday.
Yes, happy Thursday.
Let us know how the sound is.
Some food. Yeah. Hopefully everything sounds good on your end out there in the internets. But we whoops. See, there we go. I accidentally just took us out. So, is your mic all good over there in terms of angle? Are you happy?
Well, how's this sound?
It's happening all impromptu now.
Yeah, is this a good sound?
Oh, hey, hello, Lucas. Hello,
well,
Robert.
Thanks, Robert.
Hello, Jay.
Thanks for your $2. Your $2 of hard capitalist cash. I don't know how to talk like that.
Kind gesture.
Dude, thanks, Robert.
Yes, we appreciate all support.
Sounds good.
As we're getting ready here.
Jay says sound is good. Raphael, sound is good.
Thank you.
Lucas.
Yeah. It was all very impromptu, so we were not sure what we were going to go on, but here we are. So
yes, this is an announcement for another announcement on Friday, tomorrow, and Saturday. And that announcement is going to be the end of our campaign. Who's been here for the beginning?
Right. Who has been?
I have.
I know
Jack
I have.
has.
Yeah.
I know some of you have been here since the beginning. So thank you. 2 months. Feels like it's gone by pretty fast.
It has gone by pretty fast.
But every week was like super jam-packed of action. Whether it's governments around the world, coronavirus, just all this crazy crap.
There is all this crazy stuff, right? Yeah. Dow dropping 1,000, which relative to where it's at is obviously not a big deal. People are like, oh, it dropped 1,000. Like, yeah, it's like up, 20.
I don't know.
7,000 voices from.
I need to research.
I mean, it's
with reason evidence.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway,
obviously the economic situation is, of course, going to eventually deteriorate, but
Beto has.
It's not just that.
Yeah, exactly. And CEOs leaving. What?
Yeah, all those CEOs, different companies leaving
within a month, right? Mm-hmm. Not just like, past 2 months to date or like 5 months ago.
Right. I'm already spilling the beer.
So it's been a long week.
It has been a long week. I'm glad we just got.
How's your guys' week been? Beto has been awesome. Just gotta say that. Oh, the good Beto. I forgot about that guy. This guy who won like take our gains without due process. I'm sorry, I don't know why I talk like that. I just like that, accent. One of many accents. But it's the good Beto, I like to say. So welcome 31 people. We went from 2 to 4 to 31.
Cool.
And
hopefully I didn't just kill this keyboard by dropping beer on it, but it seems to be okay. It's back. All right.
We have the end of the campaign. Let's go over the status of how we've done so far.
Yeah, it's been pretty impressive, honestly. Like, going into this, we weren't sure, what would happen, if people would be on board. We hope people would, just because it was so serious. But so far, we have 172 backers, and we've raised $18,385, and that does not even include the dollar matching by Farmers Policy Coalition. Sorry, I'm just like distracted. Okay, I got to replace this keyboard.
It's okay. It is dead. I mean, a lot has happened. The keyboard is dead, I guess. Good times. I mean, unfortunately, I can't see the chat. So I don't have a way. Oh, I know. Did you know there's another input if you're using a laptop? The one that comes with your system? Folks, it's called the keyboard and the mouse on your laptop. I'm going to change. Okay.
Oh, you don't have to mess with it. I got another keyboard. Just give me a minute. If you would.
Okay, cool. Anyway, thanks for bearing with me. Now I can see the chat. So anyway, thanks, Robert. So yeah, it's the last 2 days, and here we are. We've been sharing a lot of stories. Oh, I went to the convention. Just side note, I guess, while we're waiting for Jack. It's like a commercial, you know, like you, I'm just not a big corporation, I guess. But anyway, so yeah, it's I lost my train of thought, but it's been a long week. And it's just weird just hanging out here, but you guys aren't here. Oh yeah, I remember now. I was talking about the convention. So that was really interesting. That was my first major LP event, Libertarian Party, and my first real political event, I would say, in terms of like even national, right? Because they had all the presidential candidates, you know, for president in America or the United States. But yeah, so just like making myself laugh. It's just funny because you guys are all sitting here, 34 people, but like I can't see you. It's just so weird. I guess that's why some people do Discord or, you know, the hangouts, monthly hangouts on Patreon. I guess I have to promote it. Hey, I found you on Minds. Oh, you follow me on Minds. That's awesome. Cool. Yeah, I'm really liking Minds. I love all the software engineering energy going into that thing. And not just software engineers, there's HR, right? There's the people that like have to handle that BS, but it's important. And there's a whole org of people, you know, corporations are so like the socialists have so much propaganda against capitalism, and corporations, even ones that arise through voluntary means, just through like persuasion, right, and selling and offering a good product or service, those people are demonized, and they make this generalization that like all corporations are evil, you know, like at least I can say specifically it's not a generalization when you say the government itself is founded on extortion. And it's a monopoly on force within a geographical area, not based on property rights, and in fact violating property rights. So that's more of a definition, but the socialists and the communists have succeeded in painting this picture that all corporations, all business people beyond a size of 20 or whatever stupid arbitrary number, right? Oh, thanks for adjusting the mic.
Yeah, you need to have that straight on.
Oh, is that better?
It was way too angled up. You're like talking past it.
Oh,
yeah.
Excellent. Well, anyway, welcome back.
Welcome back. I was able to salvage the
keyboard's
keyboard.
fixed.
Yeah. Although I had a spare, but all it needed was a good blowing. So the power of what? The power of hair dryers and electronics.
I don't know. Maybe I'm reading it
Logic
too
makes
much
some good
into it.
stuff.
So that's hilarious. But yeah, I was just getting really into the propaganda. And anyway,
There's a lot
do
of
you
that.
want to go back to whatever we were talking?
What were we talking about? I don't know.
Okay, we were talking about literally everything because we haven't live streamed since like what, last Friday?
Something like that. Yeah.
Oh,
well, I
we
mean,
were
obviously,
at the event.
we're getting ready for, you know, these next few days for
Yeah.
the Red Flag Reality campaign. We're going to be doing a bunch of games interviews. We already have some cool stuff lined up. Actually, I can even add in here. Let me see. I'm going to try to add in, hopefully this works, some overlay of some of what's coming up. This will be fun. Hopefully it works in a second so you can see. Yeah, and it's taking all a second because this is all last minute. So there it is. So you can see there, Jason Bassler. So of the Free Thought Project. That's like
Wow.
a tongue twister, especially, you know, we've had a flight of beers already.
The Free Froth.
Free Froth.
Project.
So yeah, Free Thought Project. And of course, many other things, you know, he's done Cop Watch and other things like that. So
I'm really excited for that. That'll be my first time meeting Jason Bassler. A lot of firsts. I mean, Liberty Doll was a first meeting,
Right.
just in person. It's really cool.
It is really cool. And he does a lot of cool stuff. And then, of course, we're going to have David West back on here. So I'm going to upload his
Yes, our
little promo.
cinematographer. If anyone doesn't know, after these days, or if you're coming in new. He's our
Yeah.
cinematographer. He has a long history. I like just discovered him like through Jack, like of videos that he's made films, and it's really cool. I shared one to my, I think both YouTube and Twitter. Just one video he had called The Trump Diaries, and David was like, "Thanks for retweeting my most misunderstood video." And I was like, he's like, "Everyone thinks I'm like either anti-Trump or a commie or something." And it's just really funny because I'm like, no, he's just trying to show you the nature of the state and the policies. It's not unique to Trump. And he's not even saying anything in particular. He's just specifically, I mean, in my opinion, just showing, and we could ask him. But I think what he's showing is just depicting in a very visceral way the nature of the state. And that's why we chose David, because of his long history of work in the liberty movement. Just thank you for your service, David. Like, seriously, no, for real. And specifically that service. Okay, what does that mean? Right. Let's define our terms here. We're not commies, sophists. Okay. I'm sorry, I digress.
Yeah.
Am I just rambling?
Not yet. Not yet. But yes. So among many things, of course, we're
Not yet, but
obviously
yes.
going to
Okay.
be talking a lot about the project and what we plan to do with David over these next couple of days. And of course, talk to the people as well, including David, Jason, and some others we have lined up. So it'll be a lot of fun.
Making good points, though.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I appreciate David's service in that to liberty, because what I mean by service is like, nobody asked for it. You just are trying to promote your virtues in the world. And, I think that, and that's specifically virtues that I value, so trying to advocate for peace and liberty and using your skills, specializing in the things you love to do anyway. Like, if you like filmography, photography, anything, like, whatever you do, whatever you really truly enjoy specializing in, just use it for liberty. Maybe that's like what you think about. Like, think about the best thing you can do for liberty. And it could be a mix of things. It's not necessarily one exclusive, but you can specialize in a few things and then throw your money at the rest. Throw your money at the market of liberty, at the people literally every day tirelessly trying to do something to change people's minds, So
Mhm. Right.
Anyway.
And speaking of doing things to change people's minds, Monterey Man asks, what do we need to do in order to reach the next level of movie? So just a couple of things. I think it's important to note that, within this progression that we created, there's different levels of support where we create different things. And the next thing that we have in the list or in the queue would be at 20,000. But that said, we do want to make it very clear that we're going to use our best abilities here to produce as much as we can, no matter what level, we get fundraise as. So again, we're going to be good stewards of it. And even if we don't ultimately reach the highest goal, no matter what, we're going to try to be making several different shorts, both creatively in terms of a dramatic sense and, kind of educationally. So we're going to be working very hard with David to produce as many things as we can. So again, no matter what, even if for some reason it doesn't hit the goal, it won't be for like nothing. We're going to make some amazing things that you're going to be proud of to have supported, and definitely going to be using to share with others, to educate them, to say, hey, here's the reality of what red flag laws are, and to, of course, poke fun at some of the dumbest things that gun grabbers say. So don't worry, like no matter what, like even if we don't hit the ultimate level of 50,000, we're going to be creating lots of great things. So don't worry, we're going to make some really great stuff that's high quality. But of course, the higher we go, that empowers us to do so much more, right? And ultimately, if we can get that ultimate level, we're going to be able to make, what is such a hard-hitting short that it's going to knock the socks off of all those moms who are demanding
You've
action.
seen
like,
ANCAP
they're going to not be
grind.
able to,
No, I'm just
wake
kidding.
up. Yeah. You see ANCAP grind.
No, I mean, like our videos, you see like taxation and stuff that went so far. That was just me in front of a camera talking and like trying to distill down really quickly in a short presentational video, blah, blah, blah. Like a little like, hey, it's a little like lesson, like, hey, kids, class convene. You guys see the Democratic debate? Hey, can I speak? Sorry. It just is like, oh God, we're all raised in the public school system, I see, you know. But anyway, not everyone. But yeah, I just think anyway, it's a very different medium. That's why we called in David for his skill. Speaking of specializing, that's David. You know, he specialized in film.
And speaking of
over
which,
here.
right, like he just came out with a video
Especially-
today. You're 27 times more likely to die in a school bus accident than you are from a school shooting if you're a student in, you know, main, you know, K-12 public school. So I mean, it's
in
a
a
great
response
video.
to propaganda video.
Yeah, a great video to watch and to share, but that's just an example of that genre of things that we're going to be making and doing just higher quality production of, both, you know, again, educationally. So, hey, here's red flag laws, fast facts of what they really do versus what people say they do. And then, of course, some dramatization of some, you know, either speaking or a kind of like staging of an event. And, you know, I think we can really make some good stuff happen. And I'm going to be personally, of course, doing my best efforts, working extra to be able to make those come to fruition. So I'm, you know, obviously donating my own time, money, and resources myself because I want to see that happen. At the end of the day, there's
Likewise.
just costs, you know, it costs money to get actors who are good enough to be on screen. It costs money to have the right talent and the right equipment, and you can't sacrifice in those things. You need the right people and the right equipment, or it looks like crap. And it's just what it's just what it is. You know what I mean? There's a lot you can do with some, you know, guerrilla tactics, but for what we're trying to compete with, which is Sandy Hook Promises PSAs,
these are
to have that
specialists
stuff.
themselves, mind you. You know, they just use their special skills for statism. There's, you know, we already live in what statists call anarchy if they define it as chaos. It's chaotic out there in the world. Like, look at the news. Like, just look at the news. I just sound like some old person. Look at the news. I'm sorry, but like, it's true. Look at the news. Or just like, you know, maybe your day to day is as violent. I hope not. I would think most people, it just depends where you are. And I'm sorry if your everyday is actually very violent, you know, seek peace. But for some people, they've been able to move out of their home, their fuse, or just whatever, just find their own way and create their own households of however they want it to be, if it's peace or love or whatever. And that's just how literally crazy the world is. And most people, once they leave the home, they just like find that peace that they were always looking for. I just think everyone's looking for stability and peace. That's just like, even amongst sociopaths and psychopaths and statists or humans or whatever, I would think the basic human needs of like stability, shelter, security, you know, are shared. Wanting your consent not violated, I guess that wouldn't be possible, but you know what I mean. Like most people like you know, consent to things. They usually don't want things done to them that they don't want. I mean, it just sounds contradictory how I'm saying it, but you get what I mean. It's just like not possible. So, but yeah.
So to address to something specific that Modern Renaissance Man just said, he asked, what will be the difference if we hit the 20,000 mark, for example, like the next goal? And of course, there, as we have listed, the next video goal was, dear public school students, your teachers are lying to you skit. And we think that that's really one of the more powerful videos to make, because as it stands, one of the biggest propaganda elements is in public schools right now. And again, Sandy Hook Promise literally is going around. They have people working for them going around to schools and scaring them and making them, you know, think, oh, you know, anybody could be a school shooter. Watch out. I mean, again, there's nothing wrong with.
I think one of the people, orgs, Bloomberg.
Yeah, he's funded a lot of different stuff. So every town for gun safety is a big one. But I'm sure his money's made it there too. But basically, the Say Something program is a very specific program that's going into schools. And I've, you know, worked with students who showed me this and told me about them coming to speak at their schools. And they actually have a module now within the students' dashboards for Say Something for the organization. And it's an anonymous reporting system. So again, one of the biggest forefront battles right now is with young people, especially the young people who might be able to be reached, you know, with reason and evidence, those in middle school or high school, because they're facing the shooter drills right now. They're code reds and being told, ooh, anytime, you know, you're going to be shot up and things like that. And so having a video that's titled, you know, dear public school students, your teachers are lying to you. Of course, you know, many kids as it is already in a rebellious sense want to be like, what do you mean they're lying to me? What about, like, you know what I mean? They're just going to be drawn into that in the first place. But we want to lay it out in a studio with a good actor, you know, that is someone who can present well independently, be able to lay out those ideas of what it is that teachers are lying about. And when I say they're lying, I mean, these are things that I'm drawing on from personal experiences. That is, you know, students who have told me different things their teachers have said, or materials that I personally have seen teachers talk about when they're lying about the risks, or saying, you know, there's all these, you know, inflated statistics, you know, I wouldn't even call statistics, just basically lying with numbers, really, from every town. And even NPR said, these are totally made up. We can't even find half of what you're saying, basically. So, you know, having a video like that, you know, be really powerful. So getting to that level will help us produce that in studio video, in addition to the Red Flag Reality Dangers video. And of course, anything and everything else that we can reasonably produce with David, we're going to do in addition to that. So we're not sure.
Great question, Beto.
Yeah, thank you. We're not sure exactly all what it'll be, but we're going to just sit down, powwow, come up with our scripts, and say, okay, what could we afford to do that we could make happen within reason? Like, we're not going to do anything that looks bad. We're not going to do anything cheesy, hokey, or something that's like, okay, this is just, you know, garbage in terms of quality. Everything that we do, we want to make sure it has great sound, great lighting, you know, great camera work. It's going to be something that you would be proud to share. You know, we don't want anything that you're going to be embarrassed and be like, oh, this is horrible. You know what I mean? Like, there's enough of that out there. There's enough of the garbage out there. We want stuff that you're going to sit there and be like, oh my gosh, I want to share this to every single person, friend, family member right now. That kind of thing. So we're going to make sure that there's good quality control through and through. And, you know, on that end, we will, I don't have to under promise there. We promise that we will not release anything that is subpar. At a bare minimum, everything that we release.
Wait a minute.
Is going
I don't
to be
know
quality.
if the coronavirus is going to cause an end to all the supply chains. And then our audio will be really bad. And then you under.
Yes. If we contract coronavirus, we'll just, you know, wear masks while we're while doing the video. They're really funny.
Okay, somebody's got to just make a skit if it probably already exists. Like, gosh, it's just like people go to a restaurant and then like it's like a Chinese restaurant. Everyone's like la 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 la, and then like some Chinese tourists with masks come in, and everyone's like, ah, they like red. It's just like Chinese people with masks, and they like speak in Cantonese or Mandarin or both, and they're like. Team guy heard they chowge. Come to like anyway.
You could do it. You could speak a little bit of that. You could spit it.
I love you can spit it. Okay, what can you do?
I don't speak Cantonese,
dude,
so
this guy speaks
a little bit of
everything.
Spanish.
I'm not even kidding. He can do accents. You name it. Disney characters, Dave Chappelle, Lou Perez, George Carlin, Chris Crocker, anybody. So good. I just gotta say, hidden talent. Anyway, specializing. Talk about specializing. I guess that's a theme. I don't know. We came here unscripted because that's how we do it.
Normally, we just do whatever. This was just rushed. Those are like, okay, I guess we should go ahead and jump on.
Exactly. Like I said at the beginning, it's an announcement of the final days of our campaign.
You should give them a sneak peek of some of the stuff we're going to be playing tomorrow and Saturday. You should
give
them a little
fun.
sneak peek.
This is like show and tell.
Yeah.
I've always wanted to do this. Actually, I've done it before.
Do it.
But it's been a while.
Do it.
Okay. I just feel like podcasting like this takes it to a whole new level. Am I allowed to say the brand, or is that copyright?
We're not podcasting. We're vlogging.
All right, if you want to
show them,
terms,
give them some sneak peeks of what we're going to be doing.
You don't have to be passively aggressively commanding. No, I'm just kidding.
Thank you, Vanna. So again, in support of all the stuff we're doing, because we're going to be doing this for a long time. Like Saturday, we're probably going to do 12 hours straight. We're going for the goal because we really want to see this happen. Obviously,
who's gonna be there? I want to know. Are you gonna be there? I might sound like Uncle Sam. You know that growing up. I want you. You know you, little Timmy. Like you know what?
So we got some Mad Libs.
We got Mad Libs.
Yeah,
these are fun.
This will bring it back to your childhood.
So you know why I chose this? Give me Liberty or give me Mad Libs. you know.
Yes.
And then history of the world Mad Libs. So we're gonna do that on Saturday, or we're gonna do it Friday.
We might do a little bit with David on Friday. We'll see. Because we might have David come in. Liberty Doll may come in. We'll see. But
And that's a
Yeah.
supersized.
Mad. So in other words, we're going to be playing some Mad Libs for fun. So that'll be a lot of
It's
fun.
5-1. The market provides. I mean, thanks for. I didn't have to make this real quick. I didn't have to think of all this really fast. It just took me like 3 seconds to order it. And it was like several different versions and really high quality. Can you imagine the work that goes into just this one book? It's like I pencil them, like I Mad Libs. I don't know, whatever. But seriously, anyway, I am just kind of ranting. But I feel like I'm processing everything that happened this week. So thanks for being here. I hope I'm helping you process too. That's what I like podcasts for. Just hearing someone's stream of consciousness. It's like reading a story, but even more live. It's a vlog. I guess I know the term now. Anyway, I guess that ends my rant. Did you want to say something?
Oh, no. That's something I want to say. I don't even know. I'm just chilling.
He doesn't even know.
I don't even know.
I just
But
love that answer.
we need to keep
That's
showing
hilarious.
what's going to come up tomorrow.
Okay, I'm sorry.
It's so hard.
Wait, how long has it been?
It's
just
been
curious.
too long. Go show them the
Too
next thing.
long?
Let's see it. I
Let
want
me
to see
just
it.
delay further and further and
Yeah.
further. Okay. So this one is called Flip to Win. Not really, but it's a hangman. Flip to Win is their slogan. And you just flip this as you keep track of the letters. And I just love how the letters are already there. And it's like they saw a market demand, my need, and I didn't even know I needed it. It's because other people wanted it too. And enough people wanted it that someone was like, all right, my name is Melissa and Doug. I assume they're together or married, maybe. And they're like, let's play hangman. They might have kids and be like, we're so tired of writing the same letters on the board. I wish there was something where you could just flip it. Anywho, that's one. Hey, I moved right along. I self-monitored. Anyway, this is awesome. The market provides. Arigato. Capitalism. Anyway, you speak a lot of languages. I just spoke Cantonese.
And Japanese.
Oh, I did.
Pictionary. That'll be a lot of fun.
Pictionary.
Yes.
Dude, that's going to be me tomorrow, as in the mom. She's like, hee hee. Do you see that?
So do some interactive Pictionary.
Excellent. So, that's
That's just a lot of paperwork.
a lot of paperwork.
Get
No
rid of
one
that.
needs that.
And then
Everyone-
the pièce de résistance. This will be the most fun.
Oh, so this is like a
So
game?
yes, we're bringing back another hot sauce challenge.
But this time it's in a game.
But this time it's a game.
like a board
and it has
game,
a board game
and it's called Firewalk
and
Challenge.
cards.
And also what I liked about this is they all have Scoville units.
they do have the Scoville. Well, they had the Scoville units in the last one too, but it's
They did?
cool. Yeah, oh yeah, definitely. They had a whole Scoville thing.
I
I
don't
remember it specifically said when it's 2 million.
Hmm.
So yeah, no, it has Scoville.
Well, weird. I remember different.
I know.
Roll back the tape, I guess.
Starting.
Anyway, hello everyone in the chat.
Cool. So yeah, so we'll be playing with these games tomorrow. So both we'll be having interviews and talking to people, and we'll also be, playing some games intermittently in support of the Indiegogo campaign for Red Flag Reality. So it'll be a lot of fun, and basically we're gonna do it as long as we can survive. I don't know how we're gonna survive. We're gonna survive somehow. Keep it interesting, rotating some guests in, playing with y'all. So
12 hours.
hopefully
That's
that'll
the
be fun
first.
to do that.
That's going to be triple our record together. 4
4 hours, I think, was
or
the
so
longest before.
hours
That was a
on
good
New
one.
Year's.
New Year's is
A lot
yeah.
of you were there for that. So thank you. I recognize a lot of you. So it's been fun. It's like my virtual family of libertarians that I know at the other side of this fiber optic cable or whatever, Wi-Fi, whatever. There you guys are. Looking for liberty and peace in this world too. And I just find solace in that. So cheers to you, taxation is theft, libertarian country mug. Dude, I just everything I wear. Thank you,
Yeah,
libertarian country.
It's all sponsored. Libertarian country sponsored this and this.
That's
and this.
true. Oh my gosh. Seriously, thank you. And yeah, so the event, we talked about that. Vegas will be fun. You think this is fun? Hopefully you think it's fun. I think it's fun. But when you meet people that you've met virtually and that you've actually gotten along with for no other reason than their beliefs and their virtues, it's really fun to meet them in person. And then it's like, because
And
like
to shoot guns.
usually
yeah. Oh,
that is
yeah.
true. That's what we'll be doing for the RFR in Vegas. So
Yeah. We're going to be shooting guns, getting some pho, right?
some fun.
Yeah. Walking the strip. It's
You don't
gonna
have
be,
to get pho. It's not mandatory. There's
That's
other
true.
stuff. Probably
You don't have
like
to shoot
chow
guns
mein.
either. It's up
Oh,
to you.
hey,
right?
Drew. I like your black and yellow hearts. That's a great idea. I wonder who started that. I think it's great, though. I love it.
Did you really start that? Nobody else did that, right? I mean, someone may have.
Look at our mics.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. That was really loud.
Yeah.
I apologize.
You get
I
deaf
apologize.
for
I'm
free.
sorry. It went from Japanese to Vietnamese.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Wait, do that again.
I'm working on it.
Say that way.
Let's say what? Wait.
That-
Japanese
No,
to
the
Viet?
the Vietnamese just did.
Oh, I can't.
You could do
I'm sorry, I cannot do it right now. You pressure me.
it.
I don't know why it talk like this. And then it turns into French. I don't know why. It's really hard.
You should do that, but then
Kudos to all the comedians. Thank you for your service, especially the comedians for libertarianism.
that's how you should ask for support on the film. Actually, I think that will really
Okay.
motivate people.
Okay,
You need to
listens
support
to
on the
advice blindly without reason or evidence. Hey guys, this is what happens. You do Japanese accents on air, offending everyone who's like, hey, you're Chinese. You cannot speak.
They can be offended, but they're not going to
Japanese.
survive the coronavirus, so it won't matter in the end.
Oh, it made me sad because there was that lady, another processing point. That lady who made a video, she Chinese. Okay, that's horrible that I said that.
Why is that horrible? Chinese is
No, because
normal for a billion
because I
people.
said it in a Chinese accent and I was making a joke when it's like so sad, but I'm finding comedy and tragedy
Isn't
to
that
cope.
how comedy often arises?
So true.
Having your
Where are my
emotions
fellow
denied.
comedians? Where are my fellow comedians?
Yeah.
Using humor. Don't the okay, I won't say it.
That's my hypothesis: is that most
All
comedy is
comedians.
born out of someone being
Oh, it's
denied
so
their
true.
emotional needs, and so their way of dealing with
It's
that
so
trauma
true.
is comedy.
Yeah, like Robin Williams, like,
Yeah, suicidal.
Yeah, and he had a childhood of I think he didn't know his dad. He was in the picture, and his mom, like, he just was trying to get her attention. And he even said in later interviews that he just wanted her attention and he loved making her laugh, his mom, and that like really resonated with me. And anyway, so
It was his coping mechanism. Yeah.
yeah, and like so just tying back to most comedians like had some trials and tribulations at some point. I'm quoting Dave Chappelle. But anyway, I just want to say, I keep bringing up specialization, but I just love the idea of specialization and how, discovering the Mises Institute's work and FEE, the Foundation for Economic Education, like this work was really foundational in helping me to change. I see Mises U and FEE and people who write articles or like journalists are like, that's like the so-called academics, for liberty. And I just want, people ask me and I bring up specialization. It's had me thinking about it too, so people who comment and share their thoughts with me, that's one of the things that, I contemplate and I try to think about. And specialization really is a key. Like, when left to your own devices, when you're left to not this capitalist economy we live in, well, semi right, like corporatist, socialist, you get it. But free trade, like just experiencing the division of labor and like people when left to be free to choose what they want to do and keep their property and not have it arbitrarily cut off at some ceiling and say, hey, you have a means of production, your cell phone, mine, because whatever, you employ 5 people. Anyway, and then there's people with different definitions. Sorry, it just makes me laugh because so ridiculous. Anyway, I'm sorry, but sorry, not sorry. Okay, but 10, 20, 50 is huge to some people. But yeah. Anyway, I bring up a lot of things. Like I said, there's a lot going on, like our campaign. So thank you so much.
Oh, wait, were you gonna say something?
Yeah.
Oh, I love this. It's like, check your PM. That's too funny.
Thanks, Modern Renaissance
We
Man.
will accept, super chats to say check your messages. That's too funny. No,
Oh my gosh.
but yeah,
That's
it
really
is pretty
funny.
awesome. There's
We
so many
just
people
want
doing
support
great
on the
things.
campaign because we want to get to the next tier, as Jack covered the different
Yeah.
things. What time are we starting on Friday and Saturday? So if you guys want to pencil it us in your calendars, if you keep calendars like some of us J types over here, or if you're P type, I'll just tell you. So hopefully you remember. So it's tomorrow at 9.
I believe so. David, he was busy working on his video, so I don't know if David, if you're watching this, tell me if it's at 9 tomorrow. But basically, because he was making a great video, I mean, I don't blame him. But he got back to me and he said yes, he's definitely gonna be around, but he didn't confirm the time yet. So hopefully, I don't know. I gotta check my messages and see if he got back. But it should be. We're gonna stream no matter what. Then he'll pop in or whatever. So that's a start. And then I don't know. Did you talk to Liberty Doll yet?
No. Liberty.
No, you're like no. All right, hit her up.
If you're watching this, okay. I need to get my phone.
Well, I think we're about to actually be able to announce a special thing right now.
Oh, cool.
Because obviously there's a dollar matching going on, in case you didn't already know. So, again, thank you so much, Firearms Policy Coalition, for your dollar match.
Thank you.
They are dollar matching $15,000. So, in addition to what's been raised, folks, Firearms Policy Coalition is going to be dollar matching $15,000.
So, can you show the support level reach currently? Because if we do the math, we can tell you the current level.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, we can say what it's technically at, which is about 26,000. So I just got word. Let's see. I think
so it's like
we may be
51%.
having another one coming through. I don't want to count my eggs before they hatch. We should be getting something else that we can announce here just a second. I just got a message on, so I'm just waiting for it.
Yeah. So cool. So Saturday, 12 to 12 Eastern for sure, or 11 to 11.
Wait, what?
Central.
Oh, okay.
On Saturday, 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. Central. Or let me take it another notch.
All right, here we go.
9 a.m.
It just came in.
Pacific.
Modern Renaissance Man has just said that he will pledge $300 right now, dollar matching.
Okay, well, thanks, Modern Renaissance.
This was just supposed to be a preliminary, hey, we're going to be doing stuff tomorrow, but here it is, Modern Renaissance Man coming in clutch. He has just done a dollar match. So right now, it's hot. If you dollar match, he's going to do 300, up to 300 dollar matching right now.
I want to play Mad Libs. Why do we have to wait?
Well, that's up to Modern Renaissance Man. If he says
you're right,
we want to do Mad Libs,
what kind of game do you want to do, Modern Renaissance Man? You dictate it because you're doing. This is so cool. Anyway, one day we'll meet Beto. So Beto for sure is coming with us to the event.
Right. So we'll
meet not RFR. He'll meet Red Flag Reality.
He's gonna meet.
I'm sorry, that's not a threat. I would just slip on my words. He's gonna meet FPC with us for the first time. Okay. And they're lawyers. They're lawyers for liberty, Jamie. Praise the Lord. Praise the lawyers. They're loyal. Okay, I'm sorry. I just it's a Friday. It's a Friday night. Anyway.
But basically right now, so I think that we can qualify that. Obviously on the campaign's best because if
we just want to get it to the goal.
Right.
So, but if there are options.
But basically, FPC, of course, is going to be looking to the campaign itself in order to support. So, obviously, that would be the preferred venue. But Brett just came in. Someone make him pay.
Evil voice.
Evil voice.
Brett, you're awesome. I really like the picture. I made a video on that. That's awesome.
That's true.
Seasteading.
The seasteading.
That's pretty awesome. Okay, what is that? Engineers,
all right,
Architects
so let's take
for
a
Liberty?
Look. Okay. No, it's a Seasteading Institute.
Well, isn't it a bunch of architects who are like, hey, we can make
Oh,
a city that
okay,
lives in
I
the
get it.
sea. Oh, one more backer. Thank you.
Wait, we got one more backer?
Yes. Well, I thought it was 172. So
Oh,
now
you might
it's
be right, actually. Yeah.
173.
Okay. We did get one more. Wait, we did?
Woo.
I don't even remember.
Hello.
Now I'm confused. Did we?
Oh, well. Okay, folks, I'll pledge up to a $300 donation match so we can get to 19K. Okay, thanks, Water Renaissance fan. Oh my gosh, you're
That's
awesome.
what we've been on for like the past 5 minutes.
Are you a salesperson? 'Cause you're a salesperson for liberty, okay? There's literally all these people for liberty. You realize?
you
Vietnamese people
realize?
for liberty, half Vietnamese people for liberty, half Chinese people. Just
So,
kidding.
okay, so basically he says that for every time someone donates, or supports, I should say, because donation's a legal word for not-for-profits or not-for-profit.
Support.
If you say support,
He'll
yes,
support.
he will support. So
Support.
yes. So right now I'm pulling up the campaign because obviously you got to see. Oh, whoa, okay. It just went up here.
Oh, it's 18,420. Wait.
Oh, there it is. So it did go up one. It just hadn't corrected. I was like, wait.
But the number of backers went up.
Wow.
That's interesting. There's
Yeah,
a
it
little
just
lag
took us. It just
in
lagged. Okay,
Indiegogo.
so here we go. We got to do some math.
IGG.
IGG.
IGG, you're slagging. No, I'm just kidding.
All right, let me see. I have no idea what's going on.
You don't know what's going on.
No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, okay.
All
I
right,
was gonna be very specific and tell you what was going on. I'd be like, you're typing.
I'm glad we didn't make it there. All right, so now we can officially say, all right, so now we're at 18,420. So what were we at? 1835. We need to like run some math here. So
Oh my god.
that was 35, right? So
You're
I'm not
bringing me
crazy.
back to
So that's
support
65 plus
school.
20, so that should be 85. So 85 so far. So I don't know if Modern Renaissance Man, if that was you or if that was another new person, but basically we just had 85 in. So I guess the first dollar match is 85. All right.
Wow.
I will cheers to that.
Cheers. I'm gonna start writing on paper 300 minus, and then subtract. Do some subtraction. Hey, if I wasn't forced to learn arithmetic, I guess I would have never learned it at all. So thanks, government imposed public school.
Oh, yeah. That was sarcasm for those of you who don't know her sarcasm.
Okay, I
It's
just have to
often
say,
lost.
I will say though, for me, I get it. I get the liberal mindset so well because I was a leftist, or more just a Democrat in a lot of ways. And like I wanted Obama to win. I'm like, yeah, he's well spoken.
Yeah, I'm glad you got
culture.
over that phase and woke up
He
to
represents
principle of liberty.
stability. Yeah, and like whatever security, and so I know the mindset, and so as a first generation person from an immigrant family, like I recognize how they all okay, before anyone's like, you're illegal. Oh my gosh. Okay, so whatever, it was all legal, but even then, if you're not being violent, it doesn't matter. So anywho, I had the perspective of growing up and seeing how welfare and public school helped me in my life. So it gave me that bias, and that's how I became a Democrat in the beginning. I thought a social safety net is fine. I didn't know the nature of violence. Most of us don't, and that's intentionally obfuscated in public school. And so I really, truly, I saw this really interesting view. I was more like, I guess, a center left person, you could say. More so just center like left. I just thought like, okay, welfare, there's gotta be social, but I was also like, police, support the police. And so it was like, that's why I don't say like left or whatever. People have a spectrum, right? But just more center left at the time. And it was because I didn't know the nature of the state. But once it was made clear to me the nature of the state and how it's literally just violence, because if you think about what happens if you don't obey, they're unjust laws or just tyrannical or horrible laws, you see what happens to you. You're either imprisoned or they just send men with guns. Well, first they send men with, sometimes they send a notice, but whatever. And then eventually they send men with guns if you don't obey. And if you resist, going to prison and having your freedom taken away and your ability to defend yourself, including from them, they could kill you. So that's the reality of it. And once I realized that, it shocked me so deeply. I was just like, nah, I ain't a status no more. I'm like, all right, whatever happens, we ain't gonna do it this way. We're just not gonna force people at gunpoint to do things. We're gonna persuade them and use wit and language. We're all humans, and let's just appeal to our common compassion. Unless some people legit initiate force and violence, and you defend yourself accordingly. So, anyway, that's my hope for the world, to just reiterate that. And thank you, people like Modern Renaissance Man, and everyone here for just being here. I just see us in it together, and it's cool that we all get to live at this point in time together and fight for liberty. And I may be laughing when I talk about specialization and engineers for liberty or artists for liberty or whoever, filmographers, anybody, janitors for liberty, like literally anybody, honestly. Like, if it's for liberty, I think that's awesome. Like, and if that's truly what brings you joy, that's great. So, oh my gosh. Okay.
Oh wow. Okay, so you did it
Dude.
on the super chats here. Okay, so calcbd.net. Go get
Wow.
some CBD, Modern Renaissance Man. So
We're just reading
he
what
went
it
there
says.
in dollar match.
We're just reading the super chat. Thank you so much.
So again, if you didn't already see, Modern Renaissance Man is doing a $300 dollar match on the campaign right now. In addition, we have FPC's dollar match. So this is some crazy dollar match right now. So we put in $85. So for those of you math whizzes out there, if 85's been taken out of 300, how much is remaining that could be dollar matched?
I guess we're back.
We'll
in
find
school.
out after
Class
the
has
relay.
convened.
But basically, this is great. So thank you so much.
Thank you
This
so
is really
much.
awesome. That we have so many people who really believe in this project, and I'm really excited to help people really understand. And that's a big part of it. Is from what I've seen, people don't understand it. They really don't. A lot of people are genuinely misled about the nature of red flag laws. They're told on mainstream outlets or on newspapers, or just friends in common talk of people just sharing stuff. They think, oh, red flag laws are just they're just there to help people who are distressed or mentally ill, like real threats, and they don't get what the nuances are. They just hear the sound bites, they hear the article titles, but they don't actually get to really hear what it is that red flag laws really are and what they're doing. So being able to help people understand that and elaborate that is a really big deal. And I would have thought, maybe more people would, catch on to that right away easily. But as you've seen, and we've been talking about this early on, that state by state, there's been a movement of people, especially funded by some of these major gun grabbing groups, to get these red flag laws passed in every state, because they realize it's very easy to deceive people with it, because they make it seem like as if it's just meant to help people who are seriously a threat or a danger. But in reality, it's the most effective gun grab, in my opinion, in modern times. It is the most effective way to disarm people very quickly.
And it's gotten the most, you could say, bipartisan support.
Right. It's definitely Republicans and Democrats alike have been.
Republican supports red flag laws,
because they realize that it's a very popular thing to support
delusion.
in terms of just how it's labeled and how it's presented.
Yeah, and a lot of people who don't think of the nature of the state and haven't really thought through or heard of clear definitions of whatever principles or political ideology, they're just going to follow their leader. Like, it just depends on the person. But a lot of people growing up in public school, people who are used to following authority blindly, because that's what public school trains you to do. It really is like a prison. It's like a prison warden. And they're just like, hey, you got to go to this next class. I don't care. You only have 15 minutes. Oh, hey, you need to go to the bathroom. You better raise your hand. Oh, there's only one person who can go. Wait your turn, And it's just so like controlled. And then when you get home from school, what do you have to do? Homework, usually. And you didn't choose your class, at least not until middle school or whatever, or junior high. So it really is conditioning future tax slaves and people to be compliant to just following orders and not understand and think of morality. Just forcing them to be in this mindset of just following authority blindly. So, when you have people who believe freedom is having red flag laws, if they think, okay, I'm a Republican. Okay, this person, if a lot of people who supported Trump thought, like he said when he was running, for gun rights, right? And he even said in his State of the Union, no one's touching your Second Amendment. And I'm like, last I checked, you did. What? And then people are like, oh, bump stocks aren't Second Amendment. It's like, okay, it's literally part of bearing arms. Like, do you not get that? Like, literally, that's what it says. Like, so any infringement, it's an infringement on your property right. There's nothing violent about owning that piece. So, when people think that they're supporting somebody and they may truly just feel and believe in like no infringements, if someone who they've heavily associated with freedom and liberty, Donald Trump, says, okay, now red flag laws is how we protect everybody. Oh, we need to go to war or whatever. Like, oh, I'm not repealing Medicaid, and like the Obama tax exemption or whatever thing or tax was repealed, but Obamacare still exists. I thought last I checked, and yeah. So when people see their leader, they just who they've associated, they'll just blindly follow. Not everyone, but I'm just saying people who were raised in that mindset to obey authority and weren't taught philosophy or just what is truth, what is falsehood, how do you achieve truth in the most consistent, objective way possible that you can think of, So anyway. All right. Well, thank you so much, Modern Renaissance Man. This is awesome.
Yeah. So, just going off of that, just it's really awesome to see so many people come out here and support what we're doing. And, it's crazy times too. Obviously, a lot of people are getting anxious about what's going on in the world, with things like the coronavirus, right? The people are
they're literally
scared of.
people being dragged away. So it's understandable to be scared, That could have been any one of us in that moment. So.
Well, any one of us, if you were Chinese and living in Wuhan. But besides that, obviously
other governments forceful. Okay, maybe not that in China, but like forceful quarantine, people being held up in airports because they were on a plane with someone suspected of it.
Right, exactly. So that's a good reminder that what we're facing here in terms of government violence is very real, and it's growing because there's this fear mongering that's taking place where people are being told that they need to give up their liberty because of some boogeyman emergency. And whether that's mass shooters or there's some virus, guess what? We need to have martial law. We need to, quarantine you and pick off people one by one. I mean, that's how it's going to go. It's going to be a matter of life or death when it comes to standing up for liberty, when those in state power realize that the only way they can solidify their power is to make people scared and have them give up their liberties in the name of some emergency. And this has, been a trope of governments, throughout history, is to, whether it's, real in terms of real threat or fabricated or, instigated, whatever it is, to create threats, real or not, whatever it is, but foster those threats to keep people in a perpetual state of fear so that they are constantly giving up their liberties and standing down and being treated, like sheep and cattle to be slaughtered, because what's the best way to get people to obey is to have them too scared to do anything otherwise, right? If they're too afraid in the compared to what to take action, if they're too worried, if I don't obey, if I don't, comply, my life will be over, or this will be dangerous, or I'll be a failure, right? That's the way to do it, is to get people to be so afraid that they give up their liberties. And that's what's happening right now.
And get their vaccines and hope and wait for that.
Right. Yeah. Of course, even with this, like already, I saw in some news stories saying, get a vaccine for something that hasn't even been developed yet. Right. They're like, just get a flu vaccine. Like, you know what I mean? Already they're trying to push.
Some companies are going to get rich.
Oh, of course. They're going to, I mean, not that getting rich is wrong, but just rather that the idea is manufactured, controversy or trying to manipulate people for it is what's wrong. And, one of the big things in the unethical sense,
complex.
Right, is the forcible funding of the CDC and these arguments that, they need billions of more dollars, for quarantine and all this other stuff. And it's like, it's how it always goes. Whenever there's a tragedy, emergency, those in the state power try to rationalize, ratchet up their power.
Pay off the debt. What is wrong with you? You're the most fiscally irresponsible people I've ever met. Just look at
You've met them? I didn't know
No,
that.
no,
That's
no.
amazing.
I haven't met them.
Oh,
It's
okay.
figurative. But you know, like it's like I imagine some like libertarian, they're like thinking of the debt clock, like every day it gets worse and it ticks. It's like, what is it, 23 trillion? Something like that.
It's definitely up there.
Something cray. You know?
Oh, we just
Oh.
hit some more monies.
Wow. Okay. we
So-
went from 18,420 to 590. So
What's that?
590.
What's that math? It's math
Never
time.
reminded me of school.
Back to math
Oh my
time.
gosh. Okay, 590 minus 420 is 70 170.
Yes, that is correct.
Dude.
You get the A plus. A pluses for everyone.
Oh yeah, get the A plus. I take home the A plus.
The A plus.
Anywho,
Anywho,
thank you so much.
thank you so much.
Mysterious man or
Mysterious.
woman
Could be anybody.
or-
We didn't check who it was, of course.
or
We wouldn't
both.
say who it was without permission, but thank you so much for your support. That just put
Thank
us up another
you.
170. So Modern Renaissance Man, he did the first support here out of his 300 with SoCalCBD.net. So
Go
it
get some
sounds like as
CBD.
if
What a, like,
it's
tagline.
time
That's
for
awesome.
a 170
Whoa, that's awesome.
170 match.
Thanks, Modern Renaissance Man.
Thank you so much.
That's such a cool name, MRM.
See, that's what he should call it, Modern Renaissance CBD. If only he did that. That'd be funny. But
Oh man.
what is funny / not really funny, but happy is
We're
that
just finding
things are
humor.
progressing forward steadily on this campaign, and we're getting much closer to our next threshold of 20,000. Of course, we're going to be hitting the 19,000 first year, thanks to Modern Renaissance Man's $300 matching. So thank you so much for that. That is awesome. And
Thank you.
now we're just waiting for that. He's like, oh, they're really funny. He's like, oh crap, people are actually supporting right now. He's like, I'll match $1 million. It's like,
Woo,
oh,
woo.
whoops,
Wait,
whoops, not that much.
Modern Renaissance Man, if I could ask, feel free to just add it to the campaign and then it'll like be part of the campaign and then it'll be like also double matched, right?
Yeah, we'll throw you up here if you want. SoCalCBD.net.
It's
We'll throw
our
it back and forth.
policies. You know how like they're like coupon can't be combined with other coupon. Well, we can double match.
Triple match. Well, yeah, because it gets triple match. So like Firearms Policy Coalition isn't matching the super chats, but they are matching the campaign.
Exactly.
So if you want to triple your support
exactly Modern
and put it through
Renaissance Man,
Indiegogo,
you can put on Indiegogo
because then it gets triple support.
Whoa, that's really fun. Modern Renaissance Man just gave me a new perspective on reality or possibility, which is, whoa, that triple matching. What if we got 100 times matching? Wouldn't that be crazy?
If we got 100 times matching, that we could literally like
No,
create
no.
a Hollywood for gun rights. Basically, we could literally be like, all right, we're gonna debunk every gun grabber lie with a specific video, literally tailored.
Whoa.
Whoa, Modern Renaissance Man, here, go get a sample. SoCalCBDSamples.net. He came in on the super chats. He's like, too late. It's okay. It's all right. We'll let it
time.
slide for the last bit.
All right, we got to do the
We may not
math.
get a triple match, but it's okay.
85? 85?
So
Or
what's
no,
that?
what was the previous? 170 plus
Oh, you're saying so far plus the 85? Yeah, what is that?
85?
Yeah,
Why
I
are
mean, you
you
can see the
looking
super
at me?
chats. There's 85 and 170.
Like, why are you looking at me?
There's math here.
Oh my gosh. Okay. I need to draw because I'm used to drawing on a table
Hold on,
with pen
hold
and
on.
paper
You
and a
have
number
one-
2 pencil
If you have
and
170,
college ruled, wide ruled paper, line paper every fucking
How much
year
do you need
by
to
the
get
same
to-
school
oh,
supplies.
170. How much do you need to get to 200? That's the first thought. How much do you need to get to 200?
30.
30, right? So you take $30 away from 85, leaves you 55. So 255.
2
55.
Swift.
55. For those who
Wait,
know.
you know that video? That was the
Of course I
early
know
days
55.
of like internet videos.
I was born with the internet. It came with me.
You were awake.
I was woke.
You were woke.
I was deep. I was reading Maddox, for those who knew
Wow.
Maddox.
You
Oh
were
yeah.
deep. You were so conscious compared to me. Wow.
I mean, yeah, I was on it all. I was on, Cracked when it was early.
What?
Hecklers.com.
oh,
Yeah,
That's
that's
a
how
website. I thought-
hecklers.com, if you know that shows
Dude, I do not
way back in
know.
the day. Ask
Wow.
Jeeves.
So wait, can I ask you, did
Yeah.
you understand how to put on the internet with AOL disk?
Oh yeah, I was installing AOL discs all day. I was an
Do you
AOL.
remember the modems?
I was an AOL god.
Do you remember the modems?
Oh yeah, I was ASL all up in those chats on AOL
Okay.
chats.
This is memory
Yeah.
lane. Do you remember trying to get on the phone? You want to call somebody, and you know someone's on the internet because the
Right. You like go to call. You're
and
like,
you're like,
"No,
oh, Timmy,
get off the phone.
get off the
Come on,
internet."
mom. I need to use the internet or I need to make a call.
Okay, there are people
Yeah.
alive who've lived through beyond that. Like you're talking about those, or like I'm envious of some of those people who like started programming when they're like, conscious enough to comprehend it and make a career, like 20 or something, 18, 16, whatever. And they grew up with like the computers, like I'm talking about ones and zeros, like switches, like they got to see that whole evolution in a matter of what, 40 years since the 80s. So I mean, gosh,
It's 2020.
I know. Well, when did computers like start, like the transition, like the ones and zeros?
How deep you want to go? Because I mean, if we're talking like glass, transistors and like
Oh,
giant
I'm out of water.
tubes. What?
Oh, I'm out of water.
You're out of water? Oh.
Yeah.
But yeah, computers have been around for a long time, but the modern like computing industry in terms of like what people think about
I know I gave a
late
command
70s.
to Jack, but he consents.
When people think early computers like consumer grade, they think like the black screens, the IBMs with the green text kind of thing.
Oh, when is that?
I mean, we're talking like, early 80s or late 70s technically as well. They had it then too.
Before that, the giant computers, right? That took up a whole room.
Yeah.
And then all it did some simple math and arithmetic.
Which was pretty wild.
It just that timeline of how fast to me, it's like divisional labor specialization and
Right.
just letting some semblance of property rights respect. Just a culture. Like, I mean, everywhere you go, like, I know that there's this concept of democracy that's super popular amongst most of the people in the world. It's true, right? Like that out of all the status ideologies, which one has the most like, oh, that's benign, right? Kind of like, oh, you voted on it. It's moral. It's what you voted on. You know what I mean? And the action that takes place. So anyway, out of all the status ideologies, my vote. I mean, on a small scale,
Got any more than votes?
It's just the bigger the population, it just gets statistically less likely that you yourself, just you voting without changing any minds, will make a difference. But now you can actually change minds. So then you have a difference. But in any case, it's about property rights. And even of those people, like even Bernie Sanders, he's like, guys, I'm not a socialist, okay? I'm a Democrat socialist. I can't do his accent. Yes. I tried. But
you can vote for me to take your money.
Yeah, and he's like, look, if 51% of the people, I don't know why he sounds Russian.
Now he's a Russian Jew now.
Do you want to do it? Here, you do it. Here,
I don't think I can do it.
You do it.
I don't know that I can do that.
Bernie,
I haven't practiced any Bernie impressions. So
ooh, practice right here. I'll drink.
Oh, speaking of drinks, Modern Renaissance Man says that's not a drink that you should be drinking.
Me?
Yeah, he says you need a man's drink, and I think you have a whole box of man's drink over there. You should show them your man's drink.
Excuse me? Did you just assume I'm not a man's? That's really offensive.
She has
Beto.
big fubballs.
Okay, I guess I'll have to show you my fubballs.
Yeah. Giant fubballs.
It's like, I'll take 2 of your largest giant fubballs, like at like the fubballs. Dude, I bet Vegas probably has delicious pho.
They have.
There are immigrants
fubballs.
of all kinds, people just searching for, hey, I just want to keep my property. So they're like, all right, America looks less like crazy. Let's go over here. They're just more sophisticated at it. Very sophisticated, I might add. And honestly, I see that as a response to the rise in the culture of liberty. The statists have had to become more sophisticated. The commies have had to use more abstract language and make it sound prettier, use art or whatever to try and sway people with emotions, not reason, evidence. I don't think there's anything wrong with trying to just use emotions. I mean, to use emotions, but if that's it and it's to cover up your lack of arguments or reason or violations and contradictions in your own philosophy and obfuscation of the violence you're advocating for, then that's the problem. So, statists have just gotten more sophisticated. They've used the artist for statism or just artists for stability and security who don't think critically, the quote sheep, right? Or the NPC, whatever you want to call it. It's just labels. There's obviously not everyone is, but I'm just saying, like, there is a group of people who just want to be free and left alone per se, and they'll just follow orders, like plain and simple. They'll do whatever needed. I mean, they are falling victim to the state as well, but it comes to a point where you use your life to fight for liberty, and for me, it's just paying forward what I got to grow up in. We're talking about computers. We're talking about awesome things. I've talked to you guys on the internet, like 28 people, 40 people, Modern Renaissance Man up in here, Indiegogo, like all these cool things. AOL we're talking about. And it's just quite amazing. And I thank every single soul that contributed, no matter however you want to quantify, big or small, it's subjective, I believe. Like, oh, what's your contribution to mankind? But I mean, I guess you could measure some things, but it's still subjective because people value things subjectively different. So value is subjective. In other
Indeed.
words. Yeah. So anyway, thanks for being here and all the support so far. And it's just I just am so thankful for this opportunity to live in this time, and I want to pay it forward, and I just want to change as many minds as possible and help people heal. And I get, being a former statist myself, I get the mindset you're in. You're in a fear, uncertainty, and doubt mindset, and you're so powerless, and the state really attracts, just like a lot of religions or cults, you could say. I guess statism and some religions are cults, right? In some ways, it's just like, gosh, I lost my train of thought, but it was so good. Anyway, I might remember. Unless anyone wants to help me out. No.
What are you trying to remember?
What else to say?
Oh. Yeah. So it's okay. I'll
Anyway, it's
remember,
been an hour. Thanks, guys.
Direct us back. And so again, if you just joined us here, just remember that we're going to be doing a couple of live streams tomorrow on Friday night and on Saturday. We're going to be talking to David West, cinematographer for Red Flag Reality. We're going to be playing a bunch of games, having a great time, and of course, finishing out strong. And right now, Modern Renaissance Man has done a $300 match, of which we've already hit $255. So there's still $45 left of dollar matching from Modern Renaissance Man. In addition to, of course, Firearms Policy Coalition, they have a $15,000 dollar match on ours as well. So again, we are definitely trying to make these films happen. If we can, even the whole big shebang one, which is going to basically take the gun grabbers message and shove it right down their throats, taking the same style of dramatization and kind of doing that, but with a liberty twist and showing how violent gun control is and how violent gun grabbers are. So again, hopefully y'all come on out at least for some part of that, whether it's Friday night around the 9 to 12 o'clock arena Eastern, or the 12-12, a 12-hour live stream, long time on Saturday.
We'll be playing games, Mad Libs, Pictionary, Hangman, and this hot sauce challenge.
I'm excited for the hot sauce challenge because that's one of my favorite.
It'll be fun. I mean, I personally am looking forward to it. Just hanging with you guys. It really is fun. So, I mean, gosh, if anything, just come out to the event. So check it out on Red Flag Reality on the Indiegogo.
Yeah. And also make sure to check out David's video that he just came out with that's posted on the Flosser and a few other pages on Red Flag Reality. He just came out with a video, again, talking about how you're literally 27 times more likely to die on a school bus from an accident of sorts than you are to actually be shot to death in a public school shooting. Public school buses are way more dangerous than just being in public school and being shot. So I think, again, these are the kind of discourses and facts we want to point out to people, just the fear mongering and exposing the lies. And then, of course, satirizing them and showing just how ridiculous the gun grabbers are when it comes to their rhetoric, because everything they are doing is based in trying to scare up and make people fearful of what could possibly happen that's bad, so that they give up their fundamental rights and become little good slaves to the state.
Yeah. Man, we talked about so much good things. You talked about history of governments using emergencies, fear, uncertainty, and doubt. That's just a common thread to
FUD.
control.
The FUDs. There's many kinds of FUDs. There's
Yes.
a FUDs in the information, and there's FUDs, that is FUDs who are pretending to be about guns, but they like compromising at every turn, saying you don't need a bump stock. Oh, you don't need an AR to hunt, stuff like that. We hate those FUDs. and
I agree.
like, so that, I think, just because I want to sit here, especially, and still ride out here with the Modern Renaissance Man dollar matching, because of course it's really awesome and cool. So cheers to that. Definitely cheers, Modern Renaissance
If
Man.
anything, we'll hang with you.
Yeah. And I want to talk
Cheers. Oh, that's a
too
lot.
about something
I won't
with
drink that
guns
much.
and gun culture that I see often, of course, because people talk about different people who are using guns and taking pictures. One of the terms that people like to talk about is gun bunnies, right? It's girls who just take pictures of guns, and they just are there
I
to
never
pose
heard
them.
of that term before until I started doing Philosopher,
Right.
because I only heard it in the comments. I'm like, what's that? And I was like, oh.
So it's interesting because it's like,
oh.
Obviously I don't have a problem with if girls want to pose with guns, whatever, I don't care. But I think that something that can be negative in terms of not gun bunnies themselves, but in terms of how people treat others who are doing stuff with guns, is that there's this sense of elitism and a sense of like making fun of people for being inexperienced or being new to gun things. And I think that is pretty negative in terms of growing people's interest.
Agreed.
If you're going to grow the culture for
Wait, we had a video about this.
right, gun rights and gun fandom, right? You want to encourage it. Now, of course, there's safety issues and things like that obviously should be promoted in terms of just people handling things well, not doing stupid stuff with where they point it or where they shoot it. But I think that I think it does a lot more harm than good. The people who make fun of others. I mean, there's obviously comedy to things where it's just funny, like they say, "Oh, the poor is like if you don't have a great firearm or whatever." But to me, I just think that the culture growth element, for it to really grow, it needs to be one that's building and supportive of people who are new to shooting, and encouraging them to train and learn more and do more and grow.
And if we're libertarians, this should be about the individual. Like, just stop making generalizations and hating on people just based on whatever you ascribe to their identity. Just literally try to understand them as a human being, unless they show you to be violent otherwise, right? Like, just prepare for the worst, but give people the benefit of the doubt. And then if they violate your body or property, just protect yourself accordingly. But
But yeah. I know it's interesting because I would say this day and age right now, there's a huge turning point culturally in terms of media and guns, because I would say with some people like FPS Russia, Demolition Ranch, even Hickok 45, there's been over the past several years people who have helped to start to make the gun culture very accessible and enjoyable, right? Turning it from something that was like, this is kind of like for certain good old boys or, people that are really into guns and stuff like that, or hunters, something like that. They started to turn it into something that's like, so that could be kind of interesting and engaging and entertaining for all kinds of people.
Yeah.
And I think that's really incredible. And I think that
I love it.
Growing that should be a thing. Like, everybody should want, we want to get guns by every kind of group imaginable. You want people of all different types of backgrounds, interests, hobbies, passions, just like thinking that guns are great and incorporating that culture into lives to promote it. So I think that's something that, we're trying to do here. And we're also trying to encourage others too, to foster that.
Can I say something on that?
Sure.
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 Well, I saw a headline. I forgot where it came from, but it was just some article, some opinion piece probably, that it was just like, I forgot the place, but whatever. Could verify, look it up. I'm sure you could find it. but it was just I keep losing my train of thought.
It has been a long week and a long day.
Oh
And a lot of
man,
drinks.
and a lot of drinks.
And a lot.
Well, I had a
Did you even have your man drink? The Modern Renaissance
I
man.
had a man drink already.
Well, how many?
Stop telling me what to do. I'm
I
not
didn't-
in public school anymore.
You're
Modern
in public.
Renaissance man.
You're in public school of Modern Renaissance man's drinking hour.
You're right. Okay, so if you want a man drink, I really want a girl drink though. I want a White Claw.
Yeah, that is the man drink. That was the joke. You took my punchline away.
Man drink.
I was gonna have you go get it and be like, "Oh, here's the man drink."
It's ma'am drink.
It's a ma'am drink.
It's a ma'am drink. It's ma'am. Ooh, that should be a drink name. That'd be so awesome.
That would be hilarious. Okay, you go get the ma'am drink. Oh, Micah says, he says, don't forget Colin Noor. Exactly. Right. Like, like Maj Touré. That's what I was going to get to. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Oh, Colin's got dumped the NRA?
Well, I heard he said, no, I'm no longer part of the NRA.
Okay, so someone's got to fact check that because I'm out of the loop. I don't know if he's still with the NRA, but exactly, like Colin Noor, Maj Touré, there's all these different people who are out there actually showing off their passions, and even better, training other people, like literally going and doing trainings and seminars to like help people get good at whatever it is they want to do, whether it's just general self-defense or pistol concealed course or whatever. You know what I mean? It's awesome, and that's what we need. We need more people out there sharing it, saying, hey, you know what? Whatever, your friend who maybe doesn't shoot a lot, want to go shooting with me, right? Let's take some pictures to make it a cultural norm, right? You have a family member who's never shot before, and they seem otherwise, responsible enough and okay to do it. Take them out. Whatever it is, do whatever you can. Again, you don't have to be a huge YouTuber. You don't have to have a podcast. You don't have to have
Can't
anything.
forget Reed Henricks.
Reed Henricks? Oh yeah, Valor Ridge.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he's awesome. He's awesome.
You can do anything, yeah.
No, exactly. Yeah, you don't have to be some whatever celebrity person or figurehead or anything. You can literally make a huge difference, just as simple as, hey, friend, whatever it is that your buddy's with, let's go to the range, let's go shooting, right? Because you're building the culture that way. You're getting people to associate it with good times, and if you make it building and positive, they're going to really appreciate it. They're going to want to go and pay it forward.
Can I add another option? What if if you're in a place where you're just meeting people for the first time, just go to the range and be friendly. And if you see somebody who just seems like really experienced, you can ask them advice or whatever if you're new, or if you're experienced, you can even go to the range alone, but just help newbies and or even offer to let them shoot your cool weapons. It just be kind, and just even a stranger, you can show them the love of liberty and self-empowerment and be peaceful and like making a nice experience for them. And it's going to be interesting, right? Like if they're shooting an SBR AR for the first time, they might be like, whoa. And then if they remember your smile and how you were kind and friendly, that's a lifetime of memories. So anyways, cheers, Modern Renaissance
cheers.
man. Thank you so much.
And I want to say one comment and push back a little bit on that, actually, what you just said, because I think that that I wouldn't say like, try to help somebody unless you're like, certified someone wants it. I wouldn't recommend that, because that could be off-putting to people. Just being like, oh, here, let me tell you what to do. Like, I think that's kind of bad. I think that the wiser thing is just, and this is my strategy, this is what I do, is that if I see someone who clearly is like a first timer, newer to the range, and it looks like they're having a good time, I'll be like, hey, you want to try shooting? And I show them one of my pieces. Of course, if that's out of your risk profile, don't do it. If you're like worried, oh my gosh, I'm worried that they're going to shoot somebody. It's like, okay, whatever. You got to do what's in your risk profile. But for me, I'm like, okay, if I see they seem to hold their gun all right, they seem to be warmed up, I'll be like, oh yeah, here, try this gun. And then if they want to try what you have, that's a time where you could show them something. You know what I mean? When
that's
you're already giving it up,
yours, and if it's the first time seeing, they may want to know actually how so it's a chance to teach them, but in a kind way.
So like, for example, like for me, one specific example is there was this group of young guys. They looked to be in the 18 to early 20s arena, something like that. Definitely, younger guys, college age, right? So one of them clearly had a gun. He was shooting. The other two were there, just for their first time kind of thing. And they were clearly enjoying it, having a good time. You could tell they were new to it. I was like, hey guys, I was like, you want to try this, piece I have? And a couple different things, like, oh really? And they just lit right up. They were really excited, like, oh my gosh, this is so cool. You know what I mean? They were so happy. So, I got to show them a couple of my pieces, and we shot, and they were so thankful. And they, like, at the end, they're like, thank you so much. I was really cool to shoot that. I really was glad that I got to try yours. Right. They had the biggest smiles after when they got to shoot my stuff, because it was a little more enjoyable than, the stuff they had. But
and also here, like, before that, what we were shooting, like, was the Ruger AR, and they're just like, they'd peek over, just like look, and they just like think it's so cool. So that was also like, okay.
Exactly.
They were interested.
And that's the thing, is it's like that's a real opportunity to help people. Of course, some people are just like, no, like, I've asked dudes and they were like, no, I'm good. Or like one guy was like, looked like he was scared witless. Like, it was really weird, because it was like this dude who looked like he was in his late 30s, had like kind of a small beard and mustache, and he looked like a scared little kid. I'm like, what's wrong with this dude? Like, he was
his first time.
Seemed like his first time, but he, like, I'm like, like, it was the kind of guy that you'd look at him and you think, wow, this wouldn't be the kind of guy to be scared, but he just looks oddly scared. But in any case, you look for people, you judge the environment, and you judge, who you think is okay to ask. But you see it. You see someone who, like, looks clearly excited, they look kind of new, they have the rentals on, they don't have their own stuff, that kind of thing. And it's just a good opportunity to kind of spread that culture. And of course, don't be that guy who, like, starts coming into other people's lanes. I think someone mentioned Colin Noor here, and he has a video about, like, the guys at the range, like, the kind of and it's a funny skit. It's a funny skit. But one of those guys is, like, the guy who, like, keeps popping into your lane, like, randomly. It's like, okay, there's the difference between, like, standing back and looking at someone's lane and being like, oh, let me go and, like, start touching your stuff. Like, dude, like, do not touch someone else's stuff. Like, don't start going there. Lane.
That's so bad etiquette when when that's like touching their property. You're not even asking consent. You're just like, oh, hey guys, let me just, like, wow, what's that? That's really nice. Touch. Can I shoot it?
I had this, this one lanky guy.
I don't even know you.
He was in like, flip-flops, and he's like, comes over, he's like, oh, nice stuff. He's like coming in my lane. I'm like, bro, what are you doing? Like,
that, folks,
that's
was
not how
Bernie
you do that.
Bernie bra.
Brah, that's not how we do this.
He's like, hey man, I'm just shooting for the first time. I really want to try your property.
He's shooting like
you have a means
tours.
of shooting?
Yeah.
I'm going to try it out, because you shouldn't be able to shoot that many ammo without my use.
What?
That's how they think.
Oh, okay.
Means of production, means of shooting. Anyway.
Means of shooting production.
You can say anything with language. It's about reality. Anyway.
I guess. You can.
You can. It's true.
To some extent. But yeah, so that's just the 2 cents there that I want to throw out there, just on that note of how do you build a culture, how do you do it and encourage people, and how do you also not do it, not turn people off to it. And that's, trying to force train someone who's, like, at the range next to you, and you're like, okay, this dude didn't ask you and stuff like that. But again, if you offer, hey, you want to shoot my thing, you just want to show them how to use it. Again, usually people who want to light up when you do that. So
I would say I'm more shy.
Yeah.
I'm more just like, all right, little person pulls out bullpup, pulls out the FNPS 90 with the hollow sun sight, just like, and then I always get looks, because it's just probably hilarious to some people.
You with the PS90, this little Asian girl shooting.
Oh man,
some FNs.
But it's been such a fun experience. I just can't help but think of my family growing up in the battlefield, or like escaping. I just I never went through it, but I don't know if I will. It's getting scary out there, folks.
Wait, are you? Oh, yeah.
But anyway, I just I hope that while we still have the chance in America, while America is the last stand for freedom, folks. I kind of mean that, and. There's libertarians scattered around the world, volunteers,
very scattered
individuals. But yeah, I mean, we can just maximize the chance we have, and there's that old saying. It's like the fire of liberty never dies. I don't know who said that. It's probably phrased differently, but I think of it as like the fire of liberty just spreads as long as there are individuals who love and value liberty and are willing to fight for it, and use everything in their means or specialization, special skills to try to achieve that end of peace amongst humans. And I think it's really cool to live in this time, especially with y'all. There's a lot of cool things. There's a lot of crazy, scary things, but there's a lot of cool things. So let's revel in the cool things and speak out against all the horrible things that we don't like, including coercion in the state.
Well, speaking of horrible things, there are not horrible things because we just got another support for $55, which would finalize out that $300 support. So
thanks, Modern Renaissance
Man. And again, if you want to do the triple match with FPC, you can do it on the campaign itself instead of the super chat. But again, we do accept any and all supports.
Cheers, thanks.
But if you want to maximize
horses for freedom, let's go. That's so funny. Yeah, I love how you said mix me up a ma'am drink.
Ma'am drink.
Okay, I'm serious when I say it's ma'am.
What do you mean you're serious?
I just love that saying.
It's ma'am.
Someone calls you man and you're like,
ma'am.
You do a rap song, you're like, it's ma'am. My name is it.
Well, he/she. I mean, she, because it's kind of tough because the she is so rugged. It could be easy.
Wait, is she talking? I mean, he,
who she. But
oh man, that was one of the things that confused me. The adults in my family, like on the Chinese side, like would mix up he and she. So just like how I mix up in Vietnamese and Chinese, like different words for calling people, like there's a lot of phrases that signal someone's age. So the whole culture in the language is about assuming someone's age. You think assuming gender is bad? Assuming age. Someone calls you old lady, you're like, I'm 18.
Oh yeah, in Chinese,
it's all about assuming
that's
your age.
Super triggering, yeah,
right.
for Chinese people.
And they also
age is a big deal.
They also do gender too. They do both, so it's really like.
But would you say age is even more triggering than gender technically, and like calling someone like the wrong kind of like honorific is?
No, it depends.
Yeah.
I mean, it depends. It depends on the individual. Oh, have I said that before? But. But yeah, it just reminded me of the adults of my family, my mom and my aunts just being like, he, she, and I'm like, wait, that's a he, she. I mean, and I'm like, wait, that's a girl. And they're like, whatever. That person. Just go get it.
You get the shame for free.
You get shame for free. Okay.
Free shame.
Well, thank you to the 55. Welcome, Zach Lakowski.
Yes.
I love how Modern Renaissance Man said Lakowski is coming.
And he did. It's almost like he's a prophet or something. Or he's here for profit at SoCalCBDSamples.net.
It's modern day Moses for Liberty, Zach Lakowski. Is that what we're doing? Okay. Cheers.
I don't know what we're doing. So cheers to everybody here who's hanging with us still. Again, we're just celebrating the fact that we've actually done so well with the campaign.
2 days left.
Obviously our goal is 50,000, and we're actually technically getting really close to there. As people think, like, well, wait a second, you're only at 18 change. It's like, but what's not on there is the 15,000 FPC dollar match yet. So again, it's deceiving, but that's why we're trying to keep pushing it on up, and we want to get as much funny as we can throughout this weekend and promote it, have a lot of fun in the process too, because the more that we do, the more we are able to produce. And that's ultimately our goal, the end goal of all of this actually, for the long term, is that this kicks off our ability here to work ourselves and also along with David, because David is wanting to do this too, to be able to produce more of these kind of videos, both dramatic PSA shorts, entertaining things, but also serious debunking videos that can really empower you to understand how the gun grabbers are manipulating data, how they're manipulating language, because that's what we're really good at here. Is we're really good at exposing the lies and the manipulations, because we understand it. We understand the mathematical aspects, the statistical science aspects. I have a background in that, and of course in law. So, for me, like, I'm always like readily observing where, people are conflating correlation and causation, and their sample sizes are too small, or they don't have, the exact same parameters of their study. Like for me, when I'm reading through these studies and things like that, I'm picking up what's actually wrong, and then we speak to it and we cover, whatever it is, whether it's, the CDC or the Bureau of Statistics, or, whoever, they're is doing different studies. We take a look at it in depth and see where the manipulations are. So,
You know what? I just thought, like, we've been really wanting to do events, and one of our first big events will be the Red Flag Reality events, both the dinner and the range, and they're separate events. And then we have a discount for couples. So look at that if you want to support the campaign, but also see what perk that you want as well. Of course, you're welcome to get just support without a perk, but the perks are there for you as well. So I'm really excited for that. And one idea I just got was like, if the market wants, like, it would be so cool to like do showings. Like, how there was like No Unsafe Space or something with Adam Carolla.
no
and
safe
did-
spaces.
no unsafe.
There's no unsafe space here. That's true.
Double
On our show, there is
negative.
no such thing as an. Yeah.
Double negative. Okay. No safe space. No unsafe.
Yeah.
That's like what they want. But
I don't think we're gonna get in any theaters necessarily, but it'd be cool to even do just like, hey, we do an inflatable
private showing
and
or
right,
something.
and like get a
Exactly,
projector.
outside.
Someone's got a big yard. We have 50 seats or something like that. I mean, that's doable.
In a public park that we paid for with our taxes.
Right. Public pay.
That we paid so much for all these crappy parks with crappy bathrooms and no stores or restaurants around. Anywho,
Right. And as Brett here correctly notes, exposing the lies, right? Yes, that's exactly right. We're trying to expose the lies
I love
that
it.
we're putting forward. And it's
Thanks,
reached that
Brett.
point
Cheers
where
to
you
you.
can't help but think that it's just outright lying. Even trying to give the most charitable interpretation to many of these gun grabbing groups, as even NPR, like literally NPR, which is not exactly, friendly to people who want liberty. Even they had to come in with an article and say, hey, Everytown, we couldn't corroborate, like nearly half your stories. And some of these stories are literally like guy shoots himself in the parking lot of a school, but it's on a weekend at night because he's commits suicide, and you called that a school shooting. Like, you know what I mean? Like literally nobody's there, and literally
And
that's
that's so
that
sad.
night and on a weekend.
Think about your body,
Yeah.
your horrible moment of death being used for a statistic to push more violations of
Right.
people's freedom. Like, that's sick. It's just disgusting.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, to have more people violated. Yeah, it's sad.
more people for liberty. And I think most people in the liberty movement, at least that I've met, and that's on both online and in person, were status before. So that very thing itself is a demonstration. The liberty movement and how most were status is a demonstration that minds can be changed towards liberty. And even if you didn't grow up with it and thinking that way, it's never too late to change. I've seen people of all ages become libertarians, become
Oh, yeah.
voluntarists, just philosophers, individualists, whatever. You use whatever label, just people who are peaceful, nonviolent, and respect property rights, And those are the people that make up the liberty movement. And we can heal more people. And I think part of becoming a libertarian, or just seeing your fellow humans in a certain way, is part of healing. I think if you were like, harmed before, if you didn't get certain needs met, whether it's food, shelter, like basic needs, or like love, mirroring, or stability, whatever, or if you like weren't allowed to grieve your traumas, whatever, there's all that. Where was I going with this? But it's
There's lots of people, they love liberty, all ages, they just need some
Thank you.
healing.
Yeah. I appreciate it.
No problem.
I just like get so passionate because I had some White Claws. Anyways, cheers to you.
Cheers. Yeah.
Thanks for being here. I hope it's entertaining. Anyway, we'll see you, modern Renaissance man. But yeah, no, it's really cool. I think the journey to liberty is a healing process because it's about empathizing with other humans as you would yourself, and realizing that you just want to treat them how you yourself truly want to be treated. And I say truly as in, you know, I have a strong belief, at least most cases of masochism or sadism is from trauma. So, that's one of the things I talk about in terms of healing, like, truly realizing, okay, I actually don't like this or whatever, right? And like healing the previous assumption and empathizing with yourself and being like, all right, I don't want to do that to others. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I don't want to live in that world. Or, some people like, oh, I say I'm polyamorous, but technically I'd be mad if someone cheated on me, double standards, things like that. That's what I mean. And, all of us today, people who go to Anarchapulco, people who go to Freedom Fest, people who go to Beasis Institute to learn, like, these are all people searching for liberty in their own ways that they've found. And that's a testament that minds can change. I just been thinking about this a lot because I get comments here and there. And, I know that the ratio of comments to likes is different, but, I see the comments, I see what people are thinking. And, so I get it. Some people feel hopeless, and I relate because I have felt that before. But what keeps me going is just remembering that minds can change. I think of a lot of things to keep me going, I guess you could say, but that's several things. It's just like empathizing and meeting people who share similar experiences to me, who discovered liberty and want liberty and freedom. It's really cool. It's just like, whoa, that could have been me. I could have been that person, or whoever I meet. Like, I could have been some tall, dark person running for presidential candidate, or I could have been some short, I don't know, midget. I don't know, running for liberty. But like,
that would be hilarious. Midgets for liberty.
I said running for liberty, like literally running.
I mean, I don't know. I would think that's like, less
yeah.
than half the liberty movement, at least.
Well, define midget. Legally a midget.
Someone who's under 4 feet.
5 feet. Oh, 4 feet. 4 feet. Oh, I thought it was.
Well,
5.
is it 5?
I thought it was 5.
Is it 5? Because I thought,
People
I mean,
said that to me.
I don't know. I know that it's super short if you're an adult and you're under 5 feet, but I always thought it was a little bit short than that. And some people say that midget's derogatory sometimes.
Oh, really?
I don't know. Some people, I've heard little people.
Oh, well, is there unsafe spaces
but I don't
here
care.
or safe spaces?
I just want to make that clear that some people find that.
Oh, well.
This is not a safe space.
Do you guys remember back
we don't
then?
Care.
Like, I used to say this all the time, like, well, no offense, and then you'd say something.
Yeah.
Whatever it was. Well, no offense, I didn't mean offense by midget.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's what I was called, so I guess that's why I'm like desensitized to it. I'm like, oh, I was literally called that, so
you're still above
care.
midget level, so
now I am.
Okay.
When I finally went to get a checkup, and they were like, they read you your height. I'm like, dude, yes, I'm not legal. Like, I exclaimed in the hallway, and the nurse was like, okay, you've been waiting. I'm like, yeah.
How was that when you were what, like 20? You're like, yes.
It was when I was 37.
37.
Yeah, I'm back.
You do look really good for 98. I will say.
Thanks. Someday when I'm 100 or
Chinese don't
101,
crack.
it will just kick in, and then you're gonna be like, "Whoa, she's old."
People are like,
Damn.
"How come she's the philosopher?" It's like, well,
Yeah, I thought
actually,
she was 30.
she's ancient. She comes from
What you see
a very secret
is the
ancient
remnants,
cult.
the remains of Lao Tzu
Yeah,
from gajillion years ago.
she
or
came
100,000.
from the Tibetan mountains.
The essential freedom. I believe I'm here. Well,
Hey, what's
welcome.
up?
The essential freedom. That's what I need in my life. Just the essential freedom. You know what I mean? Some free. Can we get some freedom over here?
We could use some freedom over here.
Seriously.
We gotta do a lot of things to get some freedom.
I loved
going.
your comment, Zach. He goes,
Yeah.
White Cloud, woo.
White Cloud.
Hey, I saw moonshine and I thought of you. It had peaches.
It wasn't real moonshine.
It wasn't, but it said
It said moonshine to deceive you
Those
into purchasing.
riots.
But moonshine is something one must
Those
distill
riots.
themselves secretly. If you want the real thing.
It was like really heavy too. It was like 23%.
23%? That's not heavy.
32?
23% is like the rum runners. Like that's like Malibu level.
Oh my gosh. It's subjective.
That's baby weight. It was 65 proof. I mean, but that's still nothing.
5%. 5%.
We need some Everclear. Then we're talking. Some real stuff.
Does anyone remember Shoe Nice? Oh my gosh. Well, if you want to see
Oh, gosh.
Everclear, there you go.
Oh, I don't even know how that guy's alive. Yeah. Should we do that for tomorrow? Should we
No.
do shoe nice challenges?
No.
Like,
Please, no.
we're like, we're going to drink an entire bottle of Patron, and one's that no, we'd be dead.
Okay, if we get to 50,000, I'll do it. Okay, no,
If
no,
we
no,
get to
I'm not gonna
50,000,
commit.
I don't
I'm
even
not
know
gonna
what I'd
commit.
do.
I'm
I'd
not
be
gonna
like,
commit. I take it back. I take it back.
yeah, take that back. You
I'm like,
better
no, no,
figure
no.
out something that you're not
Okay,
going to die
I will
from.
take a whole White Claw like real fast. I'll try to drink it
That's reasonable.
at 50K.
That's reasonable.
Just like
One, yeah,
three.
50K,
No, I'm
one
just
whole
kidding. One
White
White
Claw
Claw.
shotgun, or we could do a funnel. You could do a funnel and you
A
won't die.
funnel? Oh my goodness.
Yeah, but I would totally do that. Oh
Guys,
heck yeah!
Give me the college
To me, that
days
wouldn't
I
be
never
enough.
had.
Yeah, the college days you'd never had. I don't know how much
Anywho,
you want to get into that.
So you
but
guys want to go to Vegas? So you guys want to go to
'Cause-
Vegas?
have you talked much about your college days? I can't remember if you've ever talked in interviews or anything like that about that. Is that something that you ever want to talk about in generalities?
Yeah, I can.
Oh, you can.
It's fun.
So
I like if no one's noticed yet.
Oh,
Well,
okay.
for the record, I like processing my life.
Right.
I hope you do too. And that's one of the things I advocate for is self-knowledge. Like the world inside you is so fascinating. I don't mean physically. I just mean
Your body is a wonderland, is what she
Your
really means.
your body is a wonderland. Oh
Yeah.
no, we're gonna get censored.
No, we're good. We're good.
Oh, okay.
But so
If
yes,
sing it
you
2
did go to
seconds, it's fine.
college, right? Right?
Oh my god.
You went to college like everybody else, right? No.
Oh, your voice is great. Yeah.
But what
I did.
happened?
What do you want to know? What are you, FBI?
FBI.
Nice try, FBI.
Well, what were you studying? What were you studying in
Dude,
college?
okay, if you think literally 10% of a White Claw is me right now, I don't even know what's gonna happen.
White Claw is just white raw. It turns you from yellow to white. So what were you studying in
Is
college?
that true? Has anyone tested that hypothesis? I dare you to go out and test that hypothesis. Please.
Wha-
I'm just kidding.
What were you studying in college?
Why do you want to
Don't
know?
avoid the question.
Authoritative. No, I'm just kidding. Well, why do you want to know?
The
Give me-
people want to know.
I want to know why you want to know.
Because the people want to know. They want to know what you studied.
Oh, is anyone asking? I don't see. The people, are you
All right,
conflating
folks.
you as an
Do y'all
individual?
want to know what she
Stop
studied in
this.
college? It was underwater basket weaving. No.
It was for gender studies. That's why I know it's ma'am. And this is man. And sometimes if
No,
he
it-
wants, it's ma'am. And then for me, sometimes it's man, it's fluid.
It was not gender
Sorry.
studies. It was not gender studies, folks.
It
so
wasn't.
don't worry.
First it was studying to be a doctor. I wanted to be an anesthesiologist. And
Ah.
you know, I just what my reason was I want to help people not feel in pain. And also I thought it was cool how much buku was attached to their name. But eventually it became clear to me all the regulations that the government imposes on the healthcare industry and malpractice insurance and all that, and not being able to provide care without them without
Being
your
up your butt?
patient being able to
Oh.
sign a contract saying they won't sue you or something, whatever. So I was just like, that just sounds like too much stress, more than it's worth. And I interviewed a lot of them, and I went 2 years into the program, studied OChem. Oh gosh, I remember that. That was so many like smart people, whatever, A-plush people, whatever you want to call it.
You're about to say high IQ.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Oh my god.
I don't know.
I don't know if
We're
that's
talking about
high
tests.
IQ, but high ability to
In that
obey
specific case,
and
like,
memorize and pump
very
and dump, Krebs cycles.
detail-oriented, good memories. It's a specific skill. Memorization is a skill. It's not like everyone. It's just a fallacy that you have to have good memory to be considered smart, and that's what
Right.
traditional public schools focus on, is like ability to memorize, regurgitate what you hear. Exactly how it is. Excuse me, I burped because I had a White Claw, and it's seltzery. But yeah, anyway, but I really liked OChem. I did enjoy it. I personally was one of those people who, like I said, I thrived in public school. For me, compared to my childhood, at home.
Raising the projects.
And I know, yeah, for real. Oh, shoot. It's coming in.
She was raised in the projects.
Oh, I just have, yeah. I mean, on that note, I just like hip hop music and how rap music, gosh, used to be about the war on drugs and like, you know, welfare and the government, the state, the nature of the state, like dead pres, let's get free. I mean, it is like, sounds like individual socialist or whatever, but nonetheless, they point out a lot of the nature of the state and the US government specifically. But that was a big part of my growing up. Like, yeah, growing up on the projects, like on welfare, like knowing what that's like and to see not everyone. Some people were really hardworking, like immigrant families just like mine, but some were just had been on welfare for years and had horrible families, like just horrible, just sad. And I say it in a funny way because it's just horrible. But I saw a lot of just depravity. So like public school for me was like and TV and then eventually the internet was this whole world of like, whoa, there's beauty in the world. And hey, I can make my way. And public school, I gave me that thought. I was like, well, if I just obey, if I get straight A's, I can rise out of this depravity. And that like, you know, fueled me for so long. So I get it. I get people who, whether left on the right, center, or up, down, whatever, diagonal, whatever you want to conceptualize as people's identities for ideology. But, you know, back when I was like a status, basically, and what I mean by that is just someone who believes the state is necessary for control and order, for safety, security, for peace and prosperity. Like, ironically, I just didn't know. But yeah, I could go on and on
You
about
could.
school.
So how are we connecting this back to your college
Yeah.
choice? You were studying to be in the medical field,
Yeah.
anesthesiology, and then what happened?
I love how you bring it back. Wow, I could go on. But anywho, you brought me back to Little China, Little Vietnam. So anyway, I switched to software engineering. And gosh, this world is so much nicer. There's a lot of cool space in the computer world. I've always just loved computers. I think just partially seeing how fast everything grows, you know, with computers, like we were just talking about, like how quickly it went from like a server taking up like what 500 square feet in a room and it could only do some basic math or something, whatever, to like what we're on right now, casting over the internet, talking to, you know, it's scalable too. Right now it's 20, sometimes been 40, 100. It's just like really, really cool. And to be able to communicate through this medium, it also saves so much human labor. You know, instead of spending your time traveling, potentially getting sick, risking things, you can like still be productive and share and initiate supply chains and stuff all around the world. And like people still go out. I'm just saying, like, you don't have to do it every day. You know what I mean? Until you want to. But yeah, so
what happened with studying and your computer science studies? Like what did you study specifically?
do you want to know?
Yeah.
Okay. So this ties back to Red Flag Reality because Indiegogo was made by engineers. It's a website. I'm just kidding. But yeah, software engineer. So anyway, what was the point?
Oh, just
Are you just curious?
Yeah, no, just I'm sure people were curious, what your passions were in terms of, computer programming and things like that. What
I'm sure
drew
I've
you to
alluded
enjoyed.
to it. Yeah. But yeah, I do like just being able to keep your property, you know, be free, being able to not have your consent violated. That's it. Like just body and property rights. You own yourself and you own your property that you acquired through original appropriation or just voluntary trade from someone else, you know, like it's not a big deal. And everything else that's a gray area, humans can negotiate. Humans can communicate. They share the same language. They can reason with each other. most humans, you know? So it's like, let's just do that. Let's persuade. Let's not coerce. That's really like silly. And there's no need. And for those that refuse to persuade, we will defend ourselves, you know? So it's just plain as simple as that. Tale as old as time, ever, you know, from whenever humans emerged, whatever that story was, there's theories. But yeah. Oh, C guy that comments. Oh my gosh, that was my first language. So anyway, I could geek out all day.
Awesome.
Squiggles and dashes.
We'll definitely talk more about that
Yeah.
tomorrow, and talk about all different kinds of fun stuff. So thank you so much, everybody, for hanging out with us, and thank you so much,
Yeah,
Modern
wow,
Renaissance
for 2
Man, for your
hours.
$3 amazing dollar matching. Obviously, we went way farther than we were expecting. We were just thinking, oh, we're just gonna hang out, just let people know, hey, we're gonna live stream
we wanna
tomorrow.
announce the end.
But tomorrow on Friday, at not about 9 o'clock Eastern until about midnight, we'll be streaming and also having David West on. On Saturday, we'll be there from about noon till about midnight again on that Saturday Eastern time. And at 1 p.m. Eastern, we have Jason Bassler, the Free Thought Project, coming on. So we'll be hanging out, doing all kinds of stuff, interviews, other people popping in, people you might be familiar with. So
and if you have
you'll see some special
for those
faces
people,
coming in.
Super chats will be answered.
We'll be fielding questions with all the kinds of interesting people will be getting to pop into the live stream as well that we'll talk with. We're also playing some fun games: Hangman, Pictionary, Mad Libs of all kinds, Firewalk Challenge.
Let's make some
it's gonna be
hilarious Mad Libs. I'm excited. That'll be fun.
We're gonna have some hilarious Mad Libs.
Okay. Somebody anywhere, we're talking about software engineering. Please, somebody, maybe me, but can we make a VR where you can live stream like this, but we're all in the room?
Oh yeah, one day there'll be virtual reality for this. I mean, that already exists.
I'm just geeking out.
Yeah, that already exists. Oculus.
I just love it. All these different people coming together. Whatever it is, they're like, I'm gonna make this little chip computer. Okay, there's more to that, but you know what I mean. All right. Well, thank you guys so much for this awesome night. We're really excited to close the last 2 days. Yeah, it's gonna be awesome. I'm really, exhilarated to find out where we land. And we're
gonna be doing some really fun stuff. And I'm excited.
Thank you all for your support. You guys are very positive who are here.
So yeah, we had 18,730 so far, and it looks like 177 backers. So thank you so much.
Wow, thank you.
Awesome.
And that doesn't count all the super chats. So thank you to everyone who supported through all of their means as well.
Yeah, it's gonna be a fun time making all this stuff and getting to hang out. So we'll see everybody later. Take care, and see you tomorrow and on Saturday.
All right.